Hello everybody. Welcome to Tpull's Corner. We're in Historic today because I wanted to play with Elsewhere Flask. And here's one of the cards. One of the reasons why. They did a cycle in Brothers War, one for each color. And I have 63 cards because I have 4 copies of Elsewhere Flask and it replaces itself. You can just draw a card. So I feel like it's safe to go over. And they didn't have much to do, did they? Alright, we can put down Rada, and now we can see the top of our deck. And that is good. And they're just gonna throw her back up. Blah. And they got 3 colors already, and oh, there's 4, so it looks like maybe a 5-color deck. We will try Rada again, see if they have counterspells. No? Okay, so land off the top, and that's all we can do for now. And if this is a shrine deck, we might be in trouble if they got all 5 colors out this quick. It is a 5-color deck, and it is a shrine deck. Yeah, and they had exactly what they wanted. They had everything that they needed. We kind of need to draw that. We can't play that. I can play the lands. That's a problem. Alright, so I guess we're playing that land. And we're giving Rada the armor. And let's see how fast they can outscale us. Draw a card for each shrine you control. So they're going to fill their hand to 7. Or no, that's at the next upkeep. Alright, they already got blockers. And Rada does not have trample. And I was hoping for one more land. We didn't get it. But if we get rid of Sanctum of All, and we get rid of Goshintai of Shared Purpose. And we attack. Do you feel like you can... No, they are going to chump block. Okay. And Retrieve gets us 1 target and 1 non-creature permanent card. There. We need a way to destroy another enchantment. Another shrine. That one's not the worst. Okay, that one's starting to be a problem, but our toughness is good. And we have first strike, so not worried about that. And then, I'm still looking for more land, but for now, 2 damage to each creature and opponent. And then, activate. Everything becomes a forest. That only gave me an extra 2. But if they can't get rid of Rada or put a chump blocker out, we took care of everything. We did it! We beat a shrine deck. In Historic. I feel good. Normally they get out the Sanctum of All. If I get out the Sanctum of All, I tend to win. I love Shrine decks. I have variations on Shrine decks. I've got a Shrine series coming up for you guys before too much longer. Alright, this is called Woods and Cliffs. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the arena. Kicking it live in my house. Travis for Tpull's Corner. And the star of the show is Elsewhere Flask. We got this for the Brothers War. It was one of the little special artifact deals that you get sometimes when you open the packs, but you can't play them in Modern Standard. But Magic created, the Wizards of the Coast, I guess I should say, created a cycle of cards that gave you benefit for having so many of a basic land type. And we did one called Flask Lands that had the other three colors. We composed a deck for blue, black, and white, and we used those cards with the Flask. And it was awesome. It's a fun deck. I won a lot with it. I like it. I'm keeping it. But I couldn't fit all 5 colors in because it would have gone over 60 cards by a substantial amount. So we're coming back to go with the other 2 cards in the cycle, and that's why Woods and Cliffs, after Blanchwood Armor and Sardian Cliff Stomper. So with Blanchwood Armor, you enchant a creature. Each creature gets +1/+1 for each forest you control. And Sardian Cliff Stomper, as long as it's your turn and you control 4 or more mountains, Sardian Cliff Stomper gets +X/+0, where X is the number of mountains you control. And there's a lot of people that will only play Blanchwood Armor with mono green, but we had a YouTube comment a while back from one of our subscribers who suggested adding it on to a nice little deck I had. I think it was one of the Devilish Valet, and you can go hunt that down in the Devilish Valet playlist on my YouTube channel. And it worked out nice, even though we had a 2-color deck. It was very effective. And so I figured it shouldn't be too bad here. It seems counterintuitive, right? Because we want to maximize the number of mountains, we want to maximize the number of forests. And here we're making a choice. So if I have a Blanchwood Armor on a Cliff Stomper, do I make everything a mountain or a forest? Which is going to give me the best boost? Or will it be exactly the same? We shall see. To help me out, I've got 2 copies of Koth. Planeswalker, this +2 puts a mountain in our hand. And then we can put the mountains down. The -3 deals damage to target creature equals to the number of mountains you control. So if they put down a massive creature at the beginning and I've got 3 mountains and 3 forests, if I got the Flask, I can change that to make it 6 mountains, and suddenly we take out the big creature. His ultimate emblem, whenever a mountain enters the battlefield under your control, this emblem deals 4 damage to any target. What else we got? 2 Spike-Filled Hazards. Let's go ahead and look at the lands real quick. And we've got 2.7, so it's kind of a cheap deck, relatively speaking. 24 lands. So I've actually got, if I need to, I've got 2 Spike-Filled Hazards that can also come in as lands. And I've got, let's see, where is it? Balaged Recovery, which can also be a tapped land. So technically I've got 27 lands. So I can look at those 63 cards, and not only do the 4 Flask lands replace themselves because you draw a card automatically, but actually those other 3 cards can double as lands if I need them to. So I'm not worried about mono starvation with this deck quite as much. I've got 1 Strangle. I've got Mishra's Command, another card from Brothers War. It gives you 4 choices, and you can choose 2 of them. I've got a Lightning Strike for removal. Ogrehead Helm that we can equip and maybe do some discarding our hand, drawing card shenanigans. We've got 1 Colossal Growth. We can kick it, and that's where we can get our trample if we need it. Inscription of Abundance from Zendikar. With the kicker, we usually want to save it, so it costs 5, 3, and 2 green. And then we have all 3 choices instead of just 1. We've got 2 Survivor's Bond. Return target human creature card from your graveyard to your hand, and or return a non-human creature card from your graveyard to your hand. And that's mostly just to get our creatures back, because we don't have a lot of creatures, as you can see. We only have 9 creatures, even though it's mostly a creature deck based on the idea of, hey, let's get the Cliff Stomper out and go hit somebody in the face when we get them built up enough. Balaged Recovery can get any target card from the graveyard back to our hand. We've got 1 copy of Hydra's Growth to add counters and then double the number of counters each turn. Krosan Druid, a 2/3 Centaur Druid with a 5 kicker. If we can afford to have that 7 cost at some point when the Druid enters, if it was kicked, you gain 10 life. We'll see if the Druid shows up. 1 copy of Retrieve from Innistrad. Return 1 target creature card and up to 1 target non-creature permanent card from your graveyard to your hand. Although we have to exile the card because it's so powerful. Only 1 use granted. Giant Regrowth, this is the one alchemy card I put in there. Return target card from your graveyard to your hand. If it's a creature card, it perpetually gets +3/+3, which is a nice, because the addition of the mountains only happens during your turn. So he goes back to being a 0/4 during the opponent's turn. If I can make him a +3/+3, he'll be at minimum a 3/7 after the Giant Regrowth. We've got Rada that you can use to look at the top of your card, top of your library, and play lands from the top of your library. And we can give her +X/+X, where X is the total number of lands you control. So kind of fitting in with this theme of number of mountains, number of forests. This is just the total number of lands. And Living Twister plays with lands. 2 to discard a land card and deal 2 damage to any target, or a green to return a tap land you control to its owner's hand. This is kind of nice if it survives, because if I do play... Arena has a tendency to give you these special cards early, so if they do, often I have to use them as lands. If I can pick them up later when I have enough lands later in the match, I can use them for their other side just by returning them, tap them for mana and return them to my hand. So that's a nice little trick. Into the Night, discard any number of cards and draw that many cards +1. Rumbling Rockslide deals damage to target creature equal to the number of lands you control, so fitting in with my theme. Transmogrify is in case, because Phyrexia come out and the Phyrexian Obliterator is back in big fashion, which he shows up in Historic anyway, and I don't really have regular removal without dealing damage, except for this card. So you exile target creature, that creature's controller reveals cards until they reveal a creature card, so they get a replacement card back. They just don't know what it's going to be. I'm just counting that it's going to be less of a problem for me than the Phyrexian Obliterator, because I don't really want to lose... No, you normally can't afford to lose 5 permanents. Recovered Koth. We got Elder Dragon War. You can deal 2 damage to each creature and each opponent, do a discard and draw of cards, and then create a 4/4 red dragon. And since this is one of the newer enchantment sagas, you can read ahead, meaning I can skip chapter 1 or chapter 2. I can go straight to chapter 3 if I think that it's the most logical thing to do to close out the match. If I do end up like using Living Twister maybe and discarding a bunch of lands, I have Splendid Reclamation. Return all lands from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped. And 1 ramp card, Vastwood Surge, to go get a couple of basic land cards. And since we're dealing with land so much, 1 copy of Ashaya. Power and toughness equal to the number of lands you control, and all the non-token creatures, all 8 others if I get them out, are forest lands in addition to their other types. It'll be interesting to see what the effect is if I have like Blanchwood Armor out, and then I change everybody to a forest, or if I have Cliff Stomper out and Ashaya and some other creatures, and suddenly I use Flask lands. Do those... I mean, the non-token creatures you control are forest lands. Does Elsewhere Flask change them to a mountain? We're going to try and test that out if we can. If we can't do it live, we might do a quick bite with Sparky at some point. Red and 7. Reveal the top 4 cards of your library. Put all land cards into your hand, the rest into your graveyard. For the 0-drop, you can throw all land cards, or any number that you want, from your hand onto the battlefield tapped. And, of course, the -3 to create the giant treefolk creature. And I like to do the ultimate, return all permanent cards from your graveyard to your hand and get the emblem no maximum hand size. For the lands, we've got Gate to Tumbledown for card draw. We've got Besieger that you saw me use effectively against the Shrine deck. We've got Gate to Matterborn for card draw. And we have Hunter's Maze. Hunter's Maze, and then Lair of the Hydra is a man land from Adventures of Forgotten Realms. So, a very big land theme. We tied some other stuff into this little cycle they created for the Brothers' War. And so if you want to see the Blanchwood Armor one, go look up the Devilish Valet playlist. And if you want to see the Flask lands, just type in Flask in the search bar if you don't want to scroll down through the videos. It should pop right up. And that had stuff where, like, the blue card was you convert all the cards to islands, and then you draw as many cards as you have islands and discard 2 cards. And the black card is for that cycle is you deal damage equal to the number of swamps you control, and then you gain that much life. That kind of thing. So we just want to play with the rest of the cycle. Hey, look, we got both of them already. The Stomper and the Armor. Yeah, they got some card draw planned already. And probably some life gain to offset that card draw. Let's go ahead and... not that one. We're going to put out the Cliff Stomper. And they have no maximum hand size already. Alright, let's play the Flask first. And we'd be done. And if they understand the Cliff Stomper and Elsewhere Flask, they already figured out my strategy. We're not going to be greedy with Vastwood Surge and wait for the kicker. Gross. They are setting up with no problem, right? Let's use Vastwood Surge. We'll go get a couple of forests. And we'll attack, and we'll change everything to a mountain. Six points. They didn't take the 2 points of life for the extra card draw from Eye of Vecna. They do make me reset with the Cliff Stomper. And now they're tapped out. Another Flask. Running 7 because they're tapped out. And
trees are old and wise.
a tree branch?
Lord of their land, from root to canopy, the trees are mighty.
If they have more Fading Hopes, then they might not be worried about the tree branch. They get 2 zombies right away. Yep, they got the Fading Hope already. That's all right. I guess I'm doing this to go look for some lands. Got 2. I don't need... let's see, 4... If I kick this now and do all of this, put 2 on there, target a player, target a creature I control, and target a creature I don't control, and then I hit the full control, can I still sacrifice the Flask in the middle of all this? They're going to counter it anyway. Okay. Too bad. That would have been marvelous. Now they're going to go take out Ren. Just attack me. For all of my ramp with Vastwood Surge, they've got almost as much land as I do on the field. Notice my opponent just does not miss a land drop. And now they're going to pump up their creatures. Are they going to attack with both? 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, I'll have someone standing behind on duty. I'll have 2 of them. So I can go ahead and block 1. Didn't matter.
We did not choose this fight.
I can put the Blanchwood armor on him. And that'll make him a 4/8. What else do we have available to us? A Strangle. Okay. They only need to chump block with 1, right? They can't kill it with both, so they won't double block. And I still don't have Trample. But I'm saving my Elsewhere Flask and we'll get rid of the champion. And there goes the mountain, and we're done. They haven't shown any life gain things yet. And how much can they pump those up? And are they going to be willing to double block? And there goes their life gain. And they're just going right in. Hello. Do you have a Fading Hope? I think they messed up. Do they know they messed up? That's 8 right there. But when I change them all to forests, I've got lethal. What do you have? You can dig, but you're tapped out. We got him. We got him with our strategy, with the very combo. Cliff Stomper and Blanchwood Armor combined, powered by the Elsewhere Flask. It doesn't get any better than that, people. That's the deck concept. Okay, now we'll probably get spanked, but we're gonna keep going. That was perfect. That was the idea that I had when I made the deck. And really that was a misplay by the opponent, right? They should have understood what I could have done, what my potential there was, and they should have been calculating the maximum lethal damage that I could do on my next turn and left the chump blocker. But nobody else thinks the way that I do, and there is no other deck. I can practically guarantee you, it's not like I run a search, but I can practically guarantee you, you will not find a deck like this on YouTube or Twitch or anywhere else. Travis has a brain that thinks slightly different from a lot of other people. That's all I can say. Oh, this is a bunch of jank. I don't even know if we have any kind of chance. Yeah, treasure hunt. Reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal a non-land card, then put everything into your hand. So they get to keep all of their lands, right? And they already got the Reliquary Teller, which means no maximum hand size. And they just got to another treasure hunt. So this is probably like maybe one copy of Jace or something for a self-mill deck. And they'll do it again with the second card. They'll go, okay, Awaken the Erstwhile. There you go. Each player discards all the cards in their hand, then creates that many black zombie creature tokens. I don't have a way to stop that. And I don't have a way to force them to discard. They would get to draw as many as they wanted. That would be better if that was a forced discard right there. So what's left for me to do besides die? We're going to get outnumbered real fast here. They just put down the 5th land and they're done. Wait, where's your card? I thought it was only a 5-costing card. Blah, blah, blah. Oh, it needs to be a black mana source. That's why. Alright. So we can kick this, I guess? Look at us. We dealt 4 points of damage. We're so awesome. And this may be why I'm supposed to have a board wipe in here and I don't. "24 of them they have. We cannot beat 24 zombies right now. Actually, if I'd had the one card, if I'd had the Enchantment Saga, we could have dealt 2 damage to everybody. That is a 2 toughness board wipe. I did mention we'd get spanked the next round, right? I would have needed that one specific card, and they would have been severely disappointed. That would have been awesome. But I didn't really have a way to pull that up. And with Treasure Hunt, they're guaranteed to get there fast. So, I don't know, maybe Mishra's Command shouldn't be in the deck. Now, oh, thank you, Wizards of the Coast spies. As soon as I mentioned that I didn't have it and that I needed it. Yeah, that was last match. I don't necessarily need it now. Spies, I tell you. Listening in on my games. It's not, that's not AI right there, right? That's not the chat GTP stuff or whatever. This is like live Wizards of the Coast employees watching the game, making sure that I lost because I won the match before, and then when I talk about the one card that could have saved me, that's the card they put out. You guys know you do it. How many of you does it take to monitor this channel? How many cards do you have? A lot of cards. Can't attack, or we pay 1 for each of the creatures that's attacking. Okay. We will take that. We will attack. We will auto pay. And we have first strike and you're tapped out, so you are not going to block. And we are done. That's just until end of turn. But they can exile it and get life back to 10 later. Okay. Noted and logged. That is an instant, but I needed another land. No, I don't need another land. pay the 1. They're going to block. That's a bad choice. 1 damage and then first strike means you get exiled, Angel of Grace. Which means you're not even... You don't get the 10 from exiling because I already did the exiling for you. Yes. It's great to be young and insane. Even if I'm not that young anymore. They've still got more land than I do. Sarah the Benevolent. +1. They can create a 4/4 creature. Great. And me without my 5th land to kick it.
Fight without rage. I will not rest until we have peace.
And the flyer's just coming on over. There you are. Okay, hopefully they don't have a trick. We're going to do all 3 of these. Put 2 counters on Rada. Target me for the healing. Target Rada to fight the angel. 5/5 beats a 5/4 or a 4/4. And then we go and we take out the Planeswalker. I can't afford to attack. Even attacking the Planeswalker. Yeah, attack your Planeswalkers. Ugh.
Win the day, my angel.
Alright. Let's try it again. Hopefully they don't have a trick. Exile until it leaves. Oh, I'm gonna lose my plus-ups. Alright. Dragon War. Kill everybody. It doesn't affect Planeswalkers, though. Little pukes. And they can create 1/1 chump blockers with Arden Veil. That's target creature only.
Hope lives on after me.
They get another one.
We must defend the light.
I don't feel like discarding anything, actually. I want my armor. And I want to do my attack. And I don't have to pay extra mana to attack anymore. And they don't create a chump blocker with Ardenvale. Why not? What am I missing? I can't believe they have 7 lands. And I'm still stuck at 5 after all this. Ouch. And lifelink till end of turn. Great. Okay. Then I guess we're doing Ren and 7. And I need
the will of the woods
both
is
of
made
these
manifest.
to do the work. I didn't even need to say oops. I didn't even need to say oops. Activate ability. Every land goes from a mountain to a forest. 8/8. I didn't pay attention. I didn't look at how they shifted everything. I messed up. Again. Destroy all creatures. It was still too much for him. Okay. Then Koth. We're gonna fix our little land problem right now.
Stopping Phyrexia.
Basic mountain.
Retake this land from Phyrexia.
And I've already got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, I'm done. They go get an angel. Not a problem. They don't have enough to pump it up. Okay, there's a land. Rumbling Rock Slide deals the damage there. And I think I can go get another mountain.
Mirrodin is our land.
And choose 2. X damage to target creature. And I can draw some cards. 1 card. So target player to, and then target creature deal the damage to, auto pay. Discard up to 1 card. Let me get rid of Colossal. No, that's my trample. Shoot. You know what? I don't want to discard any of those. I think I can use them all. Okay, now I do the +1. And none of those were lands. Great. I could have probably used the lightning strike. It's okay, we're gonna get our emblem. Flying and vigilance. Okay.
The entire forest is in army.
Get our emblem.
This
Put our mountain
blood-soaked
down.
land is on my side.
Hit you for 4. Survivor's Bond. Get Rada back. Put her down. Gideon. Gideon is gonna die. How do we want to do this? Just the 1. There we go. Get rid of you.
Count on a rematch.
Okay. Mountain straight onto the battlefield. 4 damage straight to the opponent's face. Go get another
I'll
mountain.
never forget the home we lost.
What? How many lands are up to? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Perfect. Our tree creature has reach. Exile target non-token artifact. Lesser mana value from my library onto the battlefield, so it finds the Cliff Stomper right away. Cliff Stomper wins. Three, 6, 7, 8, 9. They're going to block the 10-10. Everything becomes a mountain. Good game. Whether they saw it coming or not, they couldn't do anything about it. So, we'll take you in to show you the deck one more time. I like the way this deck turned out. It's not something people have expected. It's not anything that anybody is facing. So, of course, once I get my 15 wins, maybe I'll take it into ranked and see how much they toss my butt around in ranked. But I can't do it in Modern Standard, right? Because Elsewhere Flask, we can't play it there. You have to play it maybe, I think it'll work in Explorer or Historic. Either one. But I have one Alchemy card in here that I'd have to switch out if I want to move to Explorer for some reason. Okay, so still not sure if Mishra's Command is the right thing to do, but it worked for me. If I was holding on to Krosan Druid because I was just about to, I already had enough mana to kick it the next turn so I could have gained 10 life. And that would have given me a lot of breathing room. So that's why I didn't want to discard that one. Yeah, as much as you might have thought this was a contrary type of build where you're building in 2 creatures that get different kinds of advantages for the different kinds of lands that you're getting, and you're splitting the difference, this Elsewhere Flask not only makes up the difference for that, but it kind of makes it impossible for the opponent to figure out how to properly block you or not. Either not understanding that they're going to be facing lethal damage from one, or actually thinking that one particular creature is the bigger threat when it could actually turn into the other one in a second. So I like having that advantage of surprise. It's like just having a built-in surprise attack anytime you want. And Koth is awesome for this deck, and I think Rented 7 is a great choice for it too. I think Ashaya works out great when Ashaya shows up. I think I have 4 copies of Ashaya too now, but I don't think that I would add more in, because I am at 63. But you notice, even though we had trouble every now and then, like we started to slow down on drawing land, eventually we would either get our ramp card or we'd get our Planeswalker, and then, we'd get our other Planeswalker, and suddenly, we'd get all the land we could ever hope for, such that we could barely keep up. So, yeah, for those of you who are longtime watchers and have listened to me complain about getting land-starved for so long, maybe it's just because we have access to Koth now. I'm much more willing to play red because I can put Koth in a deck and make sure that I don't get land-starved quite as much as I used to. Also learning to put in, if you include the tap lands, put in up to 27 lands instead of 24, and that kind of thing. So it's working out nicely. I'm very happy with the way this turned out. Let me know if you guys would do anything different. Thanks for joining me, and we'll leave it there for now, everyone. We'll have a new deck for you next time. Have a good one.